Hello! Today we're going to be learning all about semicolons. Now, what is a semicolon? Now, a semicolon is a piece of punctuation that looks like this. It's a bit like a colon, but it's a dot with a comma. And the comma bit sits on the line. And what does a semicolon do? Well, a semicolon can do a few things. Firstly, we can use a semicolon to join together two sentences, two independent clauses, two main clauses that make sense on their own but are related. And we do this in place of a very strong conjunction. Let's look at an example. So, what I have here are two sentences. They are also main clauses. They make sense on their own and they stand completely independent of each other. However, they are very closely related. So we could turn them into one sentence saying, he liked chocolate ice cream, but she liked vanilla ice cream, or he liked chocolate ice cream and she liked vanilla ice cream. If we can do that and the two clauses make sense on their own, they are main clauses, then we could instead replace them with a semicolon. And when we put the semicolon in, they are no longer two separate sentences, but one, which means that we only have a capital letter at the beginning. It would look like this. So this is what the sentence looks like with the semicolon. He liked chocolate ice cream, semicolon. She liked vanilla ice cream, full stop. So the semicolon here joins together the two main clauses that are related, and it is in place of a strong conjunction. Let's look at one more example. There are two main clauses in this sentence that are closely related, and I've put a semicolon in between them. Joe wants to eat at the cafe on the corner, semicolon. His mum would like to get a sandwich from the shop. The two main clauses are closely related and they have been joined together with a semicolon. We also use a semicolon sometimes in a list. We use a semicolon in a list to make it clear what the different items are in a list. When using a comma would be confusing. So, for example, we might have a sentence like this. Now, in this sentence, I have a list, and the list is introduced with a colon, which is this piece of punctuation here. And then each item in the list includes a comma. So we're talking about a place within a country. Now, I've separated each item in the list using the semicolon because I already have a comma in the list items. So it makes it clear that this is one item in the list, this is the second item in the list, this is a third item in the list, and this is the fourth item in the list. Now that wouldn't be so clear if we had commas doubled up with these commas. So we use a semicolon in a list when the items in the list already include commas. This is an example. In fact, often lists that have country or place names include a comma, and therefore a semicolon in this instance would be the most appropriate. So, thank you so much for joining us today as we learned all about how to use semicolons.